Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel if you're a visitor, and welcome back if you're a current subscriber. I'm Susan Anderson and this is Susan So Creative, where it's only wrong when it doesn't work. Are you wanting to do custom quilting on a large block on your frame and your frame only allows for a smaller stitching area? Say you have a quilt that has 18 or 20 inch blocks and your stitching area is only 14 inches. How can you possibly stitch a block that size? In this help video, I will be using ProStitcher to show you how you can stitch any size block on any size quilt frame. A bed runner, bed scarf, whatever you want to call it, that I'm going to be putting at the bottom of my bed during Christmas season. It's got two different types of blocks. I have a large block here and then I've got a smaller narrower block next to it. So I have a total of 5 blocks. Okay, 3 of the large ones, 2 of the smaller ones. But I want to go ahead and get started with my first block over here. I obviously cannot stitch all the way off the edge of my frame. I am dealing with a QMP 18, so my actual stitching space is only about 15 inches or so at the most. Usually 12, 14 is a good reference point. So I don't have all the space that I could get this. Now I could go further back and move it up, but I'm still not going to be able to get my entire block stitched out. So I'm going to use a little feature in the ProStitcher called crop. So now that I've got my thing all basted, my piece all basted in place and ready to go, I'm going to go ahead and draft out my area for my block. Start up in the top left corner and I'm going to go to area and I'm going to touch 2 corners and bring it down to my far right over here. Now I can't go any further than this, so I obviously can't do the entire block. So I'll just go ahead and put the 2 corner in here and I'm going to type in my height of my block to match the width of my block. So it's 15.66. Enter. So now I have my entire block there that I'm going to be working with here. Now this is just a starting point. I'm going to go ahead and select my design, Feather Designs, and I'm choosing this design right here. And there's my design. Now it's a very small block to work with, but I'm going to go ahead to modify and go and do skew, and we'll go block skew, border skew, just a touch, didn't change, so that's good. All right, so there's my design all set. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do a baseline. This is going to set my actual size because I'm going to clear out the area here to replace it. So we're going to clear the area. So I'm going to start in the top left corner and do a 2 corner. So there's 1, and I'm going to come down here to where I have a break in my design. Now I know I have more space in here, but I'm going to limit it right here and just do my 2nd corner. And there's my block off. So I'm going to move my crosshair out of the way. You can actually see where I've got the pink area blocked off and this other part of the design is eliminated. We're going to go to modify and we're going to go to crop the outside, and it takes off the bottom part of my design here. So I'm going to go to file and I'm going to save this, and I'm going to save the entire workspace and just pop this in here, save, yes. Now that I've got the top part of my design saved, I'm going to undo this to bring back the bottom, and I'm going to modify, crop, and crop the inside this time to save the bottom half of my design. So go back to File, Save, and save the workspace, and save the bottom half of the design as well. This way I have the entire design saved, split into 2 pieces, so regardless of which section I'm doing, I've got the design already sized and cropped and ready to align. So I will stitch out the top part of my block first. I'll go ahead and complete all 3 blocks of the top half of this particular design. Then I'll advance the quilt and do the second half of the block. So I'm going to basically just line up my starting points and ending points and make sure that they match, and then I'll stitch it out. So there's the design I'm working with now, just the bottom half of the design. So now we'll go back and line up the design again as it should be. So I'm going to come down to the starting point on my screen, make sure that I'm aligned properly there, slide over here. That looks good on my screen. That looks good on my screen. Just going to check my double placement, and there, and there, and there. Yep, that all looks good. So I think we're going to go ahead and go. So we're going to go ProStitcher, we're going to on quilt, and we're just going to run it. And that's how we align the bottom half of our design. But I want you to see how nicely that does match. And you can't tell that that block has been separated in two. Hope you picked up some tips on making large quilt blocks. Don't forget to stop by your local dealer and purchase any of the accessories that are shown or mentioned in this video. Remember to bring along your machine make and model number so you get the correct accessories for your machine. I'm Susan Enderson. Hope to see you next time on Susan So Creative, where it's only wrong when it doesn't work.